Well, good afternoon. A very warm welcome here to the Fleche Wallonne of 2016. The 18th edition of this race, 25 teams taking to the start of this iconic midweek race that always finishes at the top of the Mur de Huy. It is going to be a fantastic day out on the roads, I'm sure, as we look down on the peloton. Well, here's the previous winners. Alejandro Valverde, of course, is a rider who's looking to get 3 wins on the bounce. He's been all Spanish winners for the last 4 years as he joins Moreno and Rodriguez as the previous winners up to 2012. Philippe Gilbert also in the field today, and I'm sure we'll see Gilbert involved in the action. He's had some few troubles and tribulations recently, but I'm sure he's going to be back. The Belgians have been the winners of most rounds of the Fleche Wallonne, 39 wins in total. The Italians with 18, the Spaniards moving up with 6 wins, and we'll see which nationality takes the victory today. Well, on the start there, we remember the 2 riders who died recently. Enrico Gasparotto, of course, Antoine de Morti's memory firmly in his mind, as are the riders there who just remember 2 of their former peloton teammates. Frank Schleck then on the start line. Here come Team Sky. A few troubles for them in the last few days. Henao not taking to the start line. This is Giant Alpecin. Great to see them starting to come back now after their problems with being hit by a car in training during the winter. There is Gilbert, the former world champion. Purito Rodriguez there on the right-hand side for Team Katusha. And the rest of the riders signing their names. There's one of the race favourites on the left-hand side. That, of course, is Dan Martin. And Alaphilippe is also a very good teammate in that Ethics squad. The out-and-out favourite has got to be Alejandro Valverde. He firmly in the figures of all the press and journalists this morning as we take a look there at the race start. So the race rolled out of the start this morning to around about 11:40 before we got ourselves underway. A little bit of a neutralised start as usual, and then the normal skirmishes as the teams tried to manoeuvre their riders into the attack. Well, here we are then with the parcours, the start that we've seen already in Marche en Famenne. But of course this route is characterised by the 12 côtes along the route and that finishing circuit, which includes the climbs of the fearsome Mur de Huy. 196 kilometres in total. There's the profile. It's a very, very tough run-in. Looking down then on the peloton as it weaves its way through. This was a look back here at the Breakaway group of riders as they crested the top of the Mur de Huy on the first climb. This was after around about 101 kilometres of racing. Here we are with the peloton. Valverde very near the front as usual. A very strong Movistar team looking after him today. Tempo in the peloton, nice and steady. The gap around about just under the 3-minute mark. Lovely sunshine. 2 laps of racing to go as the riders made their way out on the route. The next climb on the horizon, the Cote de Soleil. Riders getting themselves a little bit more undressed. Arm warmers coming off at the top of the Mur de Huy. Well, we're hearing on Radio Tour right now that the gap is still hovering around about 3 minutes and 13 seconds. And on the horizon then, the Cote de Soleil is where the riders climb over that down to the Cote de Soleil. the Cote de Soleil and the Mur de Huy again before they go out on that further loop over the Cote de Ref, the Cote de Charav, which is that very tough little final ascent before the Mur de Huy. Well, let's take a look then here at the Breakaway group of riders on the back then. And we've got 10 riders on the attack so far. On the back there, on the left-hand side in the white and black with a little fleck of yellow is Steve Cummings, the British rider from Dimension Data. The rest of the Breakaway group then, Koen Borman of Team Lotto NL Jumbo in the yellow, Sylvain Dillier of the BMC Racing Team in red and black, Vegard Stake Lengen of Norway for Yam Cycling. At the back there, number 248 is Quentin Paschaez of the Delco Marseille team. Also in the Breakaway group today then, Kiel Reinen of the Trek Segafredo squad, and Matteo Bono of Lompre Merida. Tosh van der Sande is also in there. He's wearing number 196. He's the rider there in the red. Sander Helven of Top Sport Vlaanderen is also in here. And Mads Pedersen is the other rider in the Breakaway who rides for the Stolting team. Heading now towards the summit of the next climb of the day. This is the Cote de Ref. Cote de Ref is 2.1 kilometers in length. Its average speed is around about 5%. As we look there on the right hand side, Movistar starting to ride a little bit now as they get ready to bring Valverde forward to try and take today's victory. Little gears then for the riders in the groups. One rider in a little bit of difficulty there is rider Hazedal wearing number 146, just clicking his way through the gears. So let's just run through what's on the menu. They've gone over the Cote de Ref, which is the 5th climb of the day. 82 kilometers to go was the top of that. Then we're going to make our way down to the Cote de Belair, which is 1 kilometer in length. Just a little bit of a taster. Then we go over the Cote de Soleil, a little bit longer at 1.3 kilometers. The Cote de Soleil is a longer climb. We crest that after 153 kilometers of racing. That's when things really start to hot up a little bit. Okay. Then we race back down here to the climb of the Mur de Huy. That's the fearsome climb, the gradient on one of the corners in particular, around about 26%. BMC. Then we go to the Cote de Ref again, over the Cote de Charav, which is a long climb with a very, very fast descent before we run into the finish on the Mur de Huy. We expect to finish at around about 4:23 to 4:51 this afternoon, depending on the time schedule. Right now, I think we're going to finish around about 4:35. Nice study there of Tosh van der Sande in the red and white, followed by the Yam Cycling rider wearing number 136, just cruising along at the moment. They've opened up the advantage, and number 136 there is Vegard Stake Lengen, a Norwegian rider, 27 years of age. He's the rider there in the white with the blue shorts, a little bit of red on the kit. He's won a stage of the Tour de Beauce, which is a big race in Canada, and he's won the Tour d'Alsace as well. 27 years of age now. And Vegard Stake Lengen always figures generally. We see him in the Arctic race and other such events as well. Peloton, as you can see then, very, very long indeed. Wonderful sight. The shadows on the road of the Breakaway group of riders and the peloton. But in terms of Fleche Wallonne, it's always a tricky run-in. There are some narrow roads. The climb at the end is fearsome. You have to get that absolutely judged perfectly. Last year we saw Froome and Gilbert and other riders crash. We also saw Dan Martin have a problem just before the finish. So we'll see whether Dan Martin can come through today unscathed, which would be very good news for him and his Ethics Quick Step squad. Dan Martin could well be a race favourite if he can get himself safely through those final twists and turns and get himself set up for the finish. Katusha always prepared to put a rider at the front of the race as well. So they've put one rider up here. Looks like it's Sven-Erik Byström, the under-23 World Road Race champion. Byström there on the front. The rest of the riders lined up behind him are all Movistar. Byström is there to look after Joaquim Rodriguez, the winner in 2012. They of course call Joaquim Porrito Rodriguez Porrito because of him joining his first ever team. Porrito is a little cigar, and he was out training with the rest of the squad, and he decided that he was going to show his climbing capability. So as he raced up the climb with the rest of his teammates, he did it as though he was smoking a cigar and taking it easy. Because of his diminutive size and because of the cigar incident, they've called him Porrito ever since. So on his saddle you'll see the little logo of Porrito Rodriguez. But Porrito Rodriguez has a very good performance overall in this race. The winner in 2012, he was second in 2011 to Philippe Gilbert. And he's always named as a possible winner of the Fleche Wallonne. It's one of those real power climbs that you really need to get absolutely right. There's Visconti. He's riding well. There's Valverde just keeping everything under control. He's got his entire team all around about him. Always get asked, there's Rory Sutherland. He always sits in front of Valverde because he's the tallest rider in this squad. Gives him a load of shelter. Second wheel there for Movistar is Carlos Alberto Betancourt, who's actually now starting to ride pretty well. He always starts the season a little bit, sometimes carrying a little bit of excess timber, but right now he looks like he's coming on to some very, very good form. Tempo's pretty quick, 2:51 now the advantage for this 10 rider breakaway. Beautiful sight as we make our way to the next climb of the day. There at the back of the group, this is the 10 rider group, so let's just run through them again for you so you know exactly who they are if you've just joined us now. The breakaway group: Koen Bowman of Team Lotto NL Jumbo, Sylvain Dillier of BMC, Vegard Lengen of Jam Cycling, Kiel Reinen of Trek, Segafredo, Matteo Bono of Lampre Merida, Tosh van der Sande Lotto, Stephen Cummings of Dimension Data, Sander Helvin is also in here, wearing number 224 today, riding for Topsworth-Land and Baloise. Mats Pedersen of Stolting and Quentin Paschaez, the rider in the blue and white for the Delco Marseille team. This breakaway group went very, very early today, and they have maintained a very, very good advantage. It's not dropping significantly, 2:49 with just under 74 kilometres of racing remaining. Well, the women have also been racing out on the course. We will bring you the finish of the women's race in a short while. will be slightly delayed finish highlights, just purely because of the setup of the cameras here at the finish line, but we will bring you the women's finish as soon as we possibly can here this afternoon. A winding peloton as they make their way through the countryside. Sylvain Dillier there on the left-hand side for the BMC racing team, just being taken over there by the Delco Marseille rider. Making his way to the front is the Yam cycling rider, Lengen. Matteo Bono on the front now in the fuchsia pink and blue, pro since 2006. Tosh van der Sande, very tough bike rider, looking good today, second in the Paris Tour, third on a stage of the Vuelta a España as we go past Chateau Doudemont.
Ever wish for an unbelievable sandwich?
7 kilometres to go. We'll run through some more of the teams as we look down from the helicopter shot to Andenne. If you've never come here to the Fleche Wallonne, then certainly put it on your calendar for next year. It's a great race to come to midweek. The crowds are big. There's a huge party kind of beer area at the top of the climb, so you can come up, you can enjoy the hospitality, you can talk to loads of people and see the action. There's a giant screen at the top of the Mur de Huy as well. So it really does create a fantastic place to go on a Wednesday afternoon. Tosh van der Sande then setting the tempo on the Cote de Soleil. This climb, 140 kilometres gone, is 1.3 kilometres in length, 7.6%. Matteo Bono has gone with him. We're getting close now to the end of the women's race as well. We're hearing that there are 5 riders at the front of the race, including previous winner Anna van der Breggen. So it's going to be a very, very good finish to the women's race as well. On the back of the group then, it is number 236 who is finding the tempo a little bit hot to handle. Mads Pedersen, a winner of the Trofeo Carlsberg and a winner of the Junior Paris-Roubaix as well. Two riders going clear though, and it is van der Sande and Bono who've opened up a little bit of an advantage with 56.4 kilometres of racing remaining. Team Sky then at the front of the race, bringing forward their riders. Team Sky have got Mikael Goash, Sebastian Hanau, Lars Petter Nordic, Wouter Poels, Salvatore Puccio, Ben Swift and Danny Van Poppel. Steve Cummings decides that he's got to shut the gap on the rest of the riders. The women have got about 3 kilometres to go, and it sounds like Evelyn Stevens and Anna van der Breggen are the 2 riders who are going for this. Evelyn Stevens, the winner, of course world record holder in the hour, as Stephen Cummings now goes on the attack. He's decided that he's had enough of the messing around, so he's going to see whether he can take some of the stronger riders with him. Cummings really stretching this race out and opening up a little bit of an advantage. 1:56 now, the advantage for the leader. Cummings trying to stretch this one like crazy. The immediate reaction is Sylvain Dillier. So Cummings just really trying to find out who is sitting on and who is involved in the action and who's got the legs to maintain the gap. He wants to put the other teams under pressure. Vegard Lengen is the rider now who is distanced a little bit. 1:56 is the advantage for the lone leader. Stephen Cummings about to be joined now by some other riders as Movistar continue with this magnificent tempo that they are setting on the front of the race. Team Sky looking good over on the right hand side. I think Ben Swift will be a rider to watch for as well today. Swift has been training specifically for this week, in particular the Amstel Gold and the Fleche Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Movistar looking strong. Over on the left hand side, the BMC racing team with Gilbert, Orica, Green Edge come to the front as well on the left. Things are starting to get a little bit more focused as far as the finish line is concerned. Topsport Vlaanderen have some riders over on the right hand side. A little sneaky glimpse at Agidouer Mondiale. One guy just trying to get out the way. Didn't leave himself many places to go. The women's race is getting close to its conclusion now. And it sounds like we've got Evelyn Stevens, the winner in 2012, and Anna van der Breggen making their way towards the finish, but we'll bring you that finish as soon as we can. The climb we're going to go up is the Cote De Soleil. It's a longer climb, around about 4 kilometres in length. We will join that at the bottom at around about 47 kilometres remaining. But these roads are pretty tough. There's really very little respite at times on these circuits, and with the sun on the backs, it's great racing roads, but it's pretty taxing as far as your body is concerned. Thanks very much for your questions. Lovely to hear from so many of you. Thanks, Xylon, for reminding me that Mads, of course, won the under-23 Ghent-Wevelgem a couple of weeks ago. And also a good comment there from the Wombat, who says you can't help thinking Orica Green Edge should have brought Chavez to this race. I think you're absolutely right. This climb is really steep. It suits that little punchy style of a rider like Esteban Chavez, and it's just worth bringing Chavez to any race. He gets a massive crowd, everyone loves him, the smile keeps everyone going. He's a great rider to have in that Orica Green Edge team. They've got Adam Yates here today, and of course Albertini is a rider that they generally focus this race on. So do I think Adam Yates could win? Coming from Mutt, thank you very much for your message. Adam Yates is certainly a rider who could win. It depends whether he's been asked to ride for Michael Albertini, who's finished on the podium on 2 occasions. So it really does depend on what the team tactic is in this Fleche Wallonne this afternoon. We're getting towards the business end of things. 50 kilometres to go. 2:06 is the advantage as we go very fast downhill towards the next town. And we're about to ride through Givres at the moment. Then we make our way to the bottom of the climb into a little place called Ben, which I don't know which Ben it's named after, but that's where we're going next. So if your name's Ben, we're about to go through a place that you can call your own, and maybe next year you can come here and stand in the middle of Ben and cheer on the riders in the Fleche Wallonne. There's Cummings. What a great study of him as he just leans and keeps the tempo up. Sylvain Dillier there wearing number 103. Very powerful on the bike is Dillier. Rode really well in Grenchen in the European Championships. On the track, it was great to see him riding in front of his home crowd. Matteo Bono there, nice study of Matteo Bono of Lampre. Stage winner in Eneco, stage winner in Tirreno and in Romandy. Look at Cummings, it's almost like he's got his aero bars on, the way that he's riding right now. The gap is growing, it's now 50 seconds and 2:08 back to the peloton. There's the chasing group. They're working hard, but they're really going backwards. Kuhn, Baumann, Vegard, Lengen, Kiel Reinen of the United States of America, and hello to all our fans of riders from the United States of America who are cheering on Kiel Reinen this afternoon. It doesn't matter. Just cheer on your favourite rider. Settle down on the sofa. I know some of you should be working, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's Wednesday afternoon, no one will ever know. It's only 48 kilometres to go. It's just over an hour of your life. Team Sky have decided to take on the chase. They've obviously decided that things are not coming back quick enough. Movistar also still with Visconti. A little bit of a tussle going on for control of the front of the peloton. 46 kilometres remain, but we're now onto this climb of the Cote De Soleil. This 4.3 kilometre climb, 4% as its average gradient. After this, got another 4 climbs to go, and the next one on the horizon is the Mur de Huy, which is the fearsome finish climb. 246 there in trouble. That's Delio Fernandez. Looking, I think, for a rear wheel puncture. His team car comes up to look after him now. Many teams look interested in maintaining the chase, and Katusha now send another rider to the front. Behind him, the whole Movistar team, Rory Sutherland there. And the chasing group being led here by the Yam cycling rider there in the white with the blue and red, and that is of course Vegard Stake Lengen. Kiel Reinen churning the gear up that climb. But these this quartet look a little bit easier, don't they? Just working their way up the climb in front of them. Tosh van der Sande, second in Paris Tours, third on a stage of the Vuelta a España. A few more riders in trouble at the back of the group. Feeling the tempo then is 116, and that is Marco Minard of the Netherlands riding for the Wanty group. They're riding, of course, today for Enrico Gasparotto, who was the winner of the Amstel Gold at the weekend. I think I just got a glimpse of Wout Poels just feeling the tempo as well a little bit. I'd be surprised if he was feeling the tempo this early, but maybe he's done an awful lot of work for the Team Sky squad so far. They've got Nicolas Portal today in their team car looking after them. A reminder then, if you don't know these riders, Dillier is the rider in the red and black, Cummings is in white, rides for Dimension Data for Quebecer. Quebecer, of course, is the charity. Oh, crash here. A few riders have hit the deck, and a few adjustments being made for saddles. That was Fernandez, who was just back at the team car. Oh, it looks like Trek have got some problems. I think that's Frank Schleck who's down there on the left-hand side. It does look like Frank Schleck, who is lying on his back there. I think that was painful, that crash. And also there, crashing, is Hamad Zubeldia. Well, Trek have lost 2 of their key riders, I think, here. And Zubeldia just trying to work out, is he okay or not? He's already bandaged up. And sitting up now. Looks like he's a little bit shaken, but he's okay. He's sat up. Nicolo Bonifazio comes forward to just check if he can get Zubeldia back into the race. But I think if it is Frank Schleck, the way he's holding his shoulder says to me that is unfortunately a broken collarbone. Just by the way he's holding his arm. Oh, no, he's not moving. In fact, it looks more like it is a hand or broken arm or something. He's in all sorts of pain here. Frank Schleck, who has been coming back to form, but it looks to me like they can't get him. That's where the crash happened. A few riders going down the ditch on the left-hand side. A few riders being held up. Adam Yates has been riding at the back of this peloton all day today. Here's the crash again. A little bit of domino effect on the left-hand side of the peloton. Quite a lot of riders caught up with that. We'll just carry on listening to Radio Tour and make sure that we'll find out about Frank Schleck, whether he does come back into the peloton. 43.5 kilometres remain, 1:57 now the advantage. That crash will have helped this breakaway group. And here on the left-hand side then we have the finish of the women's race. Anna van der Breggen of Rabo Liv defends her title with a fantastic last-ditch attack with the world hour record holder Evelyn Stevens. Behind them, the sprint for the positions. Megan Garnier, the teammate of Stevens, racing with Kasia Niwadoma in the blue jersey as the European champion, and Elisa Longoborghini, the Italian rider. But the top three today in the race. Anna van der Breggen defends her title. Rabo Liv with another fantastic day in the Fleche Wallonne. Behind her, Evelyn Stevens, and in third place to continue the dominance of Boels Dolmans this year was Megan Garnier. The rest of the top 10 in that race, Kasia Niwadoma was fourth, so 2 Rabo Liv in the top 4, 2 Boels Dolmans, Elisa Longoborghini in 5th, Elena Amalusic in the Canyon SRAM colours in 6th. Emma Johansson made it 2 Wiggle High 5 riders in the top 8, Katrin Garfoot of Orica AIS in 8th, and Marianne Vos in her return to racing at World Tour level finished in 9th place in the women's Fleche Wallonne today, as we bring you the finish there on the left hand side of the screen. So a great day for Anna van der Breggen. She's been on form. She won a race on the 16th, so at the weekend in the Omloop van der Delta, a 1.2 race. She won that. She's won Fleche Wallonne, so she's now on top form so far this season. Anna van der Breggen has finished 5th in the Strade Bianchi and 4th in Ronde van Drenthe, 6th in Trofeo Alfredo Binda. Busy area here in the feeding zone. 42 kilometres still remaining on today's race. This is at the top of the climb, and there are bottles being handed out. Spare wheels also in that area as always. Lovely chateau here, L'Abbaye de Soleil. There's some great places in this area. We went to visit the Rabo Live team yesterday afternoon. They were staying in a very nice chateau type hotel. Fair amount of work though being done in some of these areas to look after these old houses. But if you ever come out here, Huy is a nice place to just spend a couple of days if you are watching the racing. And of course you're not far from places like Liège. Even Maastricht isn't too far away. Some of the teams staying as far away as that. And you can drive your way down through the different areas, and of course ride your bike some of them around the most famous races in the world. And of course at the weekend, Liège-Bastogne-Liège is the conclusion of the Ardennes Classics, and you can be in Liège in a very, very short time indeed from this race. So you can really base yourself, watch Amstel Gold, see the Fleche Wallonne, head to Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and you can see 3 massive bike races in 1 week. A very great way to spend a little bit of time. And my experience of coming to Fleche Wallonne has been that we've had temperatures and weather conditions like this quite often. So sometimes the gamble is worth it. Thanks for your messages then. At @McCrossan is where you can give me your predictions. Who's going to win? 36.2 kilometres now remain, 1:29. It's still Katusha and Movistar predominantly at the front of the race. But really, we are expecting to see that start to change, because in the next 6 kilometres, we race into Huy, and then we hit the base of this fearsome climb. And there's so many riders left in this race, we've got to start to see some sort of selection as the Wanty Group team move up on the right hand side, and so do FDJ, a team that we haven't even mentioned so far today. FDJ today are led by Arthur Vichot, twice won, of course, Haute Var. This is very fast downhill at 35 kilometres to go. Arthur Vichot, 27 years of age, and I just think about him just a little bit. The Haute Var is a race that has a very, very tough finish on day 2. If you've ever been to that race or watched it, it has a really tough climb, which isn't actually that much different to the Mur de Huy. So you go past the Chateau Belmazon de Marchinski. He's also won a stage in Paris-Nice, a stage in the Dauphiné, and finished 3rd overall in the Paris-Nice as well. But if you look at the final day of the Haute Var, then Arthur Vichot, you can certainly say, would be a rider who could do very, very well today if he can get the final climb absolutely perfect. The final day there has got a steep climb. I remember being there a couple of years ago and standing on that final climb, really, really narrow, a little bit like the Mur de Huy, and also some very steep gradients of around about 21-22%. So certainly it could be a day for him to come out and show, and if FDJ feel that he's riding well, then never know, it could be another good day for this French squad, who so far this season look to have stepped things up a little bit. Today they've got Arthur Vichot, William Bonnet, Odd Christian Eiking, another Norwegian rider, Laurent Pichon, Kevin Razor, Anthony Roux, Jeremy Waugh and Benoit Vaugrenard. So don't discount FDJ today. Frank Pinault is in the team car, and we'll find out how they do in a little while. Not long then till we get back to Huy for the next climb. The huge crowd outside the commentary box getting ready to cheer these riders up this iconic climb. Orica Green Edge with control. It looks like it could be Christian Jensen on the front for them, the Danish rider. In the team today, Jack Haig, Matt Heyman, Christian Jensen, Jens Kukelaar, Michael Matthews, Bling himself, Christian Meyer and Adam Yates, as we see Katusha fight to go through and bring this race back together. 1:14 with the acceleration of all the squads. We can see Astana now moving up in the turquoise on the right hand side. They said they'd be looking after Diego Rosa today, the Italian rider. They've got Cataldo, Grifko, Lutsenko, Luis Leon Sanchez, Paolo Tirolongo, Luvi Vestra and Andrei Zeitz are the team of Astana today. Very, very fast now as we head in towards the penultimate climb of the Mur de Huy. Someone wondering whether Stefan Kung is riding. He is. He's back in after his he had a bit of glandular fever, wearing number 105. They've had to be very careful to bring him back to full form. The team of BMC then, Alessandro De Marchi of Italy, Sylvain Dillier in the breakaway, Philippe Gilbert, a winner of this race and a former world champion, Stefan Kung, Sammy Sanchez, second in this race as well, Dylan Toons and Loic Vliegen are the team of BMC Racing as Stephen Cummings maintains the pace. They want to get to the Mur de Huy with a little bit of an advantage if they can, and then go over the top and go with the moves if they still have the legs to go with it. Matteo Bono sets the tempo. We're now in towards Huy. This is the little approach. It sort of rises up a little bit here, smooth roads, and then we switch off to the right hand side, and then the road rears up in front of you, it climbs up, and then midway point it kicks you in the teeth pretty hard, and then you just have to hold on over the crest of the climb. Then it falls flat for quite a while as you run in towards the descent. FDJ moving up on the left hand side. The arrival now of the Tinkoff Saxo team in that bright yellow colours. Now we're 1 kilometre from the finish. We hit the Mur de Huy, and here we are with the atmosphere as you see. Left and right hand side of the road, loads of fans, and it will just get thicker and deeper as we make our way to the top of this climb. Tinkoff today, Kreuziger, Brut, Kieselowski, Petrov, Polanski, Rovny, Trofimov and Michael Volgren Anderson as we see them now emerge at the front. So the teams in the red and white are the team of Katusha, Movistar in the blue and lime green. Valverde looks very, very good. The arrival then of Agiduer, Le Mondiala over on the right hand side with Cyril Gautier, the normal style of him. We're very used to that sort of style of Gautier. Kind of stands up and keeps the chest very, very high indeed. You can pick him out with the yellow laces on the shoes today. Gautier switches it into a smaller gear. They've got Pierre-Roger Latour, Jan Bakelans and other riders in that group. Movistar have full control and still maintain the pacemaking on the front of this peloton, and it's only 37 seconds to this quartet in the lead. Tosh van der Sande, Matteo Bono, Sylvain Dillier and Stephen Cummings as we head now towards the fearsome corner where the road really ramps up. The memorial, of course, of Claudie Kerkelion, the world champion of 1984 there on the right hand side. We commemorated him last year in this Fleche Wallonne. Geroid Towie has given me a prediction. Dan Martin, Valverde and Albacini, that's a good prediction. This is the corner. It hurts, it stings. It gives you more pain than you really want. Dillier is giving the riders a bit of pain in this leading group. Look at that. There's the fans either side of the road. This is Fleche Wallonne. 29 kilometres to go, Wednesday afternoon. Why be anywhere else? Rory Sutherland doing a great job there. Further on back, we can pick out the riders. Ben Swift is near the front for Team Sky, looking good. Lars Petter Nordic also there. But Dillier now is going clear. Looks like he wants to try and just hold out a little bit of a gap and maybe go with the moves. No surprise that Stephen Cummings isn't going with a tempo. But Cummings will wait until it flattens out. There you go, 200 metres to go, and Cummings is going to go with Dillier. He wants to get himself into the breakaway group when it happens over the top of the climb. Cummings is on the form of his life right now. A big fan of watches is Stephen Cummings. If you ever talk to him, he can tell you all about tea and he can tell you all about watches. 28.9 kilometres to go. The two leaders are Dillier and Cummings now gives it a little bit of stick over the top. Dillier's having to work hard to go with him as they go past the commentary box, and Cummings takes a glance round to see what sort of damage he's done. The other two riders who are there are going to be absorbed by the peloton. The advantage is only around about 12 seconds to Matteo Bono. Van der Sande looks around as well. Bono looks around, and we can see the next group of riders coming across. Wanty have got one rider there, and that is Bjorn Thurau. Gasparotto looking good again today. So is Warren Barguil of Giant Alpecin. Some real grimaces on faces as we defocus the shot. Three Sky riders, Sebastian Henao, Wouter Poels is there, so I don't think the shot I saw earlier of a Sky rider was him, and Ben Swift, who finished on the podium in Milano San Remo. Cummings then putting in the throttle to see whether he can just pull this gap out a little bit more. 28 kilometres to go, and we have two leaders now at the front. Two leaders. Sylvain Dillier in the red and black, Stephen Cummings, the British rider. A gap then back of 25 seconds to Bjorn Thurau, who's the tall rider in the Wanty kit. Tosh van der Sande in the red, Matteo Bono in the fuchsia pink and blue, and Fernandez of the Movistar team are the riders who are now on the move. They've got a little bit of an advantage on the peloton. Fernandez, of course, is here to just protect the interests. Oh, look at that, big attack by Cummings. Huge attack by Stephen Cummings. He's obviously decided that he doesn't want Dillier to go with him, and he's absolutely left him for dead on this road. Look at the speed of this British rider. He's on magnificent form. He's on the top form of his life. Sylvain Dillier asked for a bottle from his soigneur. Well, he was right on the wheel of the Brit, but look at the speed of Stephen Cummings, who is absolutely flying along this road. Today he has looked like he is having one of those days, a day where you don't feel your legs and you just feel at one with the bike. Cummings is absolutely flying. Look at the way he's leaning on the bars as though he's got his tri-bars on. He's a supreme time trialist. He's got his glasses down the back of the shirt, and this is a big attack by the British rider. The cadence by Cummings, just lifting the tempo all the time. He looks like he's on his time trial bike. Well, it's absolutely magnificent to see the way he is riding right now. Who's to say he can't stay away? Don't ever discount this rider. He can win from all sorts of scenarios. 35 years of age, he started his professional career. You may remember he moved from the British track squad. He rode for Lombo Credit back in 2005, and this is what, his 11th year as a professional. He's ridden for teams like Barlow World. He then rode for Sky for 2 years. He rode for BMC for 3 years, and he left that to go to MTN Quebec and now Dimension Data. I remember asking him why he decided to move from a team like BMC to a team that was perceived as a smaller squad. And he just answered with, I'm not racing enough. I'm not racing enough at BMC. And I want to be in a team where I can be given my chance, be given the opportunity to race. And he just likes to be and have a lot of racing days in his legs. And if you look at the way the last 2 years have gone for him, then they couldn't have been better. He just, of course, won that stage of Tirreno Adriatico in Foligno. It was a 216 kilometre stage, and if you've watched the win in the Basque Country where he outwits everyone from Vitoria-Gasteiz, the capital of the Basque Country, to Lasaka on stage 3 of the Basque Country, it's worth watching the way he just powered away and left everyone behind him. But you can see how hard he's worked. Look at that, he's looked so lean, and the low frontal area comes from his track background. He was a member of the Team Pursuit squad on the track, and he chose that he didn't want to carry on like that. He wanted to be a road rider, and since he's won stages of the Vuelta a España, the Tour de France, the Tour of the Mediterranean, he's won the overall. He's won a stage of the Tour of Beijing, after which he poured an entire bottle of champagne over me, which he's still going to one day be paid back for, and a stage winner of Tirreno Adriatico, as well as a Basque Country stage just not that long ago. When did he win that? Back on the 6th of April. We're now at the 20th, so he's still on that strong vein of form and looking very, very good indeed. He's ridden 1,986 kilometres of racing this season so far, and add that with all the training he's done, he's covering an awful lot of distance in those legs. The advantage then for Cummings grows again, 57 seconds with 24.2 kilometres to go. The rest of his team then today, Team Dimension Data for Quebec, Serge Pauls, Igor Anton, Nat Nelban of Eritrea, Omar Frey of Spain, Jacques van Rensburg of South Africa, Youssef Regugi of Algeria, and Daniel Teklemenot, a big favourite of the fans of the Tour de France, another Eritrean. Cummings then on this pursuit of staying away. A fantastic performance by this pursuiter. Cummings comes from near Liverpool, 73 kilos in weight. There's the bottles being carried by Roman Hardy of Cofidis. He's got about 6 bottles, 3 in the back pocket and a few down the jersey, as this group of Bjorn Thurau, Tosh van der Sande, Matteo Bono, Fernandez, and also I think Dillier has dropped in here, but they're 56 seconds back. The peloton just behind this group of riders, now being led by Katusha. And also up near the front there is Tom Skewins, the Latvian rider who rides for the Cannondale team there in the green. Movistar arriving in more numbers again. They look to have got themselves back together. 1T were looking after Gasparotto. I'm told that Mark McNally, another rider from the same area as Steve Cummings, is looking after Gasparotto today, as Gasparotto's teammate Bjorn Thurau turns the corner and heads towards the next climb. So we're not now far from the Cote d'Aref, which is 2.1 kilometres in length. We reached that with 18 kilometres to go. Cummings is in full pursuit mode. got to be so confident just to lean the forearms like this. He is absolutely flying. Radio Tour telling me that Cummings has just arrived at the Cote d'Aref, and the caption now confirming that. As he makes his way up, he takes a look at the blackboard. Now this board, generally what happens is that motorbike will go ahead of the race. They'll stop, literally get a stopwatch out. They'll take the time of the first rider past, the time of the next group, and if there's 3 or 4 groups, all the different timings. We go past the next Chateau de Vue Basse, and then they write the times on the blackboard, confirm them with the judges, the commissaires in the race, who then says it's all right, and then they go literally work their way down the road, show the front rider, show the next group, and then everyone can then judge, aside from their race radios, exactly what the time gap is. Carry the tyres are all of course pneumatic tyres, so that's what the riders will be riding today. 25 mils, nice and thick. But it looks like this gap is coming down, and it's coming down very, very fast indeed. And if dimension data for Quebec end up with a rider on the podium, then Stephen Cummings will have done his job very, very well indeed. One rider in trouble, Fumiko Beppu, the Japanese rider for the Trek squad, and Rory Sutherland, well done to him. His job is done. You see these riders who don't figure in the result sheet, but don't forget what they've done along the route to look after their teammates and do their work. And Alexei Lusenko also disappearing out of the race. There is number 196, the rider who's in the break. Tosh van der Sande has also gone. And more riders in a little bit of difficulty, and that is Lars Petter Nordic. His work is done, and the Cote d'Aref is causing major issues for some riders. Odd Christian Eiking also dropped now as Movistar up the tempo a little bit. They're hunting down Cummings. You can see the peloton just behind him now. Well done to this rider from Dimension Data. Katusha looking after Rodriguez near the front. Kreuziger in the colours of the Tinkoff squad. And Cummings now is caught, 17 kilometres to go. A great performance by him. Do you notice he just stopped his computer then? That'll give him a nice file so he can analyse his performance. One little thing that is worth looking at if you're someone who likes to analyse the steepness of the climbs is a Twitter feed called @VeloViewer, which gives you a proper dimensional cut through. Simon Geschke just getting dropped of the climb of the Mur de Huy, and it's certainly worth a watch. I know some of you like to know exactly how tough a mountain or a climb is, so take a little look. We were looking at that in one of the newspapers this morning here in Huy before we got started, and it's certainly worth it because it gives you exactly how the cut through of the race is. Tom Skewins now is dropped. Benoit Fulgrenard is dropped by the peloton. Sven-Erik Byström, his work is done. The peloton now all together with 16 kilometres to go. Thank you for joining us then. We're about to reach the 15 kilometre to go point as we see the peloton in a long line. Steve Cummings, the final rider in the breakaway, has just succumbed to the might of the peloton. And now it is set fair for a great finish to this Fleche Wallonne. Mario Faria da Costa has just been dropped, and it's still maintained as it has been for a long time. Carlos Alberto Betancourt, third wheel from the front, has been most of the race. Behind him Visconti, Valverde not far behind them. Team Katusha setting the tempo, joining in with the work of Movistar, looking after the interests, of course, of Joaquin Porrito Rodriguez. But Fleche Wallonne is heading towards its conclusion. Give me some predictions. Who do you think might win today? We've already had one prediction for Dan Martin. Some riders just desperately trying to stay in the peloton, doing as much as they can to get themselves back in. But with the pace that's being set right now, it's pretty unrealistic. 15 kilometers to go, peloton all together. Still many riders in this group, and still the peloton being led by the same squads. But Team Sky look good, Tinkoff look good, Agideur La Mondiale also looking very good indeed. Now you wonder which rider in Agideur La Mondiale they're going to ride for. One rider who's been on form very recently has been Pierre Latour, second in the Criterium International. He's a young rider, 22 years of age. He was also the best young rider in the Criterium International. Rode really strongly there. But of course they've got the expertise of Riblon and Gaultier and other riders like Bacalans. Be interesting to see who they will ride for on the run into the finish. Near the front is Bob Jungels, I think, moving up on the left-hand side. Looks like we've got an attack going on, and it's a big attack here. And it's Thomas Marchinski who goes on the move now. The Polish champion trying to get himself off the front of the peloton. Well, Marchinski with a little bit of an advantage now, and he's going to be reeled in. Perhaps he moved to Lotto Soudal this season. Predominantly rode for Polish teams like CCC Polsat, and he also rode previously for Cote De Soleil for a couple of years as well. 3 times the national champion of Poland, currently in that Polish champion's colours. And the counter-attack is about to come. Bob Jungels giving it some welly as he makes his way up this climb. And behind Jungels, immediately joining him, is George Priedler of the Giant Alpecin squad. Wonderful to see them back and involved in the action. Just looking to see where Marchinski ended up. That corner's a little bit difficult with the cobblestones. Lawson Craddock just holding on to the back of the group. The next climb that we're going to come up to is the Cote de Soleil, which is a springboard for victory. It's the climb that Anna van der Breggen used to win the women's race. She raced away with Evelyn Stevens and a couple of others, and then counter-attack to go and take the win. So this is a critical point in Fleche Wallonne. The 80th edition of this race. The peloton not far behind. Priedler is the leading rider here in this group. Behind him, Jungels talking into his race radio, asking for a little bit of information perhaps. 11 kilometres to go. Cannondale coming to the front. They've got a very good team here to try and win this race, with Tom Jelter Slagter and Simon Clark, of course, in their squad as well. Front of the race then, Jungels there in the colours of the Luxembourg champion, wearing number 15. Priedler is with him. The rider on the back there is Izagirre, and he will do no work whatsoever. He'll have been told, I'm sure, to just sit in, don't do any work, and just police this breakaway until we decide what's going to happen with it. So it's up to the other two riders then to try and stay away. Bob Jungels has won the Untitled Chapter. He was third in Tirreno Adriatico just a little while ago. He won the youth classification there as well. He won a stage of the Tour of Oman. Priedler looks around to see whether Jungels has got the legs to go with him. It looks like we have another group of riders coming across, and this looks like a dangerous move. 9 kilometres to go, and in this group here we've got Laurens de Plus on the back for the Ethics team. Just in front is Visconti, who's always involved in the action of this race at this point. Michael Chirel is also there. Visconti is very keen to go with this one. Number 21 there is Albacini, maybe using some different tactics to get himself across. I don't know where Marchinski went, but he disappeared out of the front group. So the race situation is that we have three leaders: Bob Jungels, the Luxembourg champion, Priedler of Giant Alpecin, and Izagirre of Movistar. Behind them we have Visconti, De Plus, Chirel, Albacini. Also in this group there, you can see on the back is Wout Poels of Team Sky. And two other riders at the front look like Katusha riders, so they're trying to do something a little bit different here. And the Katusha rider is Vicioso, and Tinkoff are getting a little bit concerned. They come to the front. 8 seconds now, the advantage. This is a great attack here as Priedler now goes to try and open up the advantage. There's around about 7 riders trying to come across to them as we head towards this concluding 2 climbs. One of them is the Cote de Soleil and the final climb of the Mur de Huy. And now Tinkoff take up the initiative at the front of the peloton there in the yellow colours, trying to bring Kreuziger through. Katusha and Cofidis now are up at the front with Danny Navarro, of course, their team leader. Super fast. Just hearing on Radio Tour then that the peloton are at 15 seconds. This is the leading group on the road as we head down back towards Huy, and then we turn right and go up the penultimate climb of the day. In the black at the front is Priedler of Giant Alpecin. In the colours of Luxembourg is Bob Jungels. Still with the remote control is Izagirre, who's done not a little bit of work so far. He won't go to the front of this race. Behind them, De Plus of Ethics Quickstep, Visconti of Movistar, Chirel of Agideuela Mondiale, Albacini, who's finished on the podium twice in this race for Orica Green Edge, Wout Poels of Team Sky, and the 2 Katusha riders are Vicioso and, of course, Van den Broek, which is a bigger move here for Van den Broek. Well, it looks though as they are going to be reeled in, and they are. So that chasing group of 7 have been caught, leaving us 3 leaders. Izagirre still sitting on the wheels. 11 seconds as we hit the Cote De Soleil. So the race now, 3 leaders and then the chasing peloton. Still very big. Those 7 riders reeled in very, very quickly indeed by the work of Tinkoff and Cofidis. Thank you to all of you for watching here the Fleche Wallonne this afternoon. We're getting close now to finding out who is going to win the 80th edition of this race. Give us your predictions on @McCrossan if you would like to tell me who you think might win. 3 leaders. Priedler now is dropped, leaving Jungels and Izagiri, but there's a group of 4 riders going clear. This is a long, tough climb, this Cote de Soleil, then a very, very fast descent down back to Wee for the finish. This is about 8% this climb, and it ramps up. Jungels is about to be caught. Izagiri looks round, his job is done. Behind them looks like could be Michael Matthews. Six and a half kilometres to go in Fleche Wallonne. The last 4 winners have been Spanish. Which nationality is going to stand atop the podium this afternoon? That's how hard this climb is. I just saw Ben Swift suffering a little bit, I think, as Izagiri decides now that it's time to go, and this is purely to put the other teams on the back foot to make Alejandro Valverde's job even easier. This is a big attack then, 500 metres from the top, and Jungels is finding it very, very hard to go with Jon Izagiri of Movistar, the winner of the Tour of Poland last year. 27 years of age. Jungels is sprinting to try and stay there. Behind them then, Movistar setting the tempo with Katusha. Another attack, and it comes from the Lotto team. 1 rider going clear now of the front of the race, and this an immediate attack here from Lotto Soudal. This is Tim Wellens. He's doing it again. He did this last year. He was caught at the base of the climb in Wee, and he's done exactly the same this year. Tim Wellens goes clear. 5.7 kilometres now remain. You kind of wonder whether this is the right move. He did this last year and it didn't pay off, but it's worth it to try and again take the victory in a race he desperately wants to win. Tim Wellens of Lotto Soudal goes clear, twice a winner of the Eneco Tour. The race situation then, 5.5 kilometres to go. Jungels and Izagiri still at the front. Tim Wellens onto the descent. This man a stage winner in the Paris-Nice, 4th in Lombardia, stage winner in the Eneco Tour, twice a winner of the Eneco Tour. This rider in difficulty is Philippe Gilbert, the world champion. Of course, has got those broken finger that he's been dealing with. Wellens now onto the descent, a fantastic descender, taking all the risks that he possibly can. But these are our 2 leaders with 5.2 kilometres to go. Get yourself set. This is going to be a thrilling run-in. Izagiri, Jungels together. 23 seconds now is the deficit for Tim Wellens as they make their way down the descent. In fact, it's closing, 11 seconds. The peloton at around about 30. Thanks to Kimberly Ramplin, who said the winner today of the Fleche Wallonne is going to be Giovanni Visconti. Will it be? Visconti's done an awful lot of work. Tim Wellens into the super tuck now, on the top of the bar of that bike as he tries to get a little bit more speed out of it. very fast, almost clipping the marshal as he goes right-hander now to set himself up for the final climb and the run into the finish. Still our leaders on the left-hand side are Jungels and Izagiri. On the right-hand side of our screen is Tim Valens, who is absolutely flat out trying to go for victory. Only 24 years of age is the Lotto Soudal rider. Just finished 10th in the Amstel Gold race at the weekend, won by Enrico Gasparotto, and it's the team of Ethics now who are on the front of the race. We've got to try and bring this race back together. Valens looking very, very good indeed, lifting the knees all the time, trying to take himself up to the front of the race, which he's about to do so. So Izagiri is going to be joined here by Tim Valens, who immediately is going to try and go past. Izagiri wants to try and get on the wheel and isn't able to. Jungels, he entices onto the wheel of Tim Valens. Jungels looking really tall on that bike now, really strong. Valens looks around. These two riders, are they going to combine? Ethics on the front, and they're driving in. It's a bit strange considering they've got Bob Jungels at the front of the race. Maybe they don't realise that he's there because they're going to bring this race back together, or maybe they're maintaining a tempo that they're happy that Jungels would stay away. 2.5 kilometres now to go in Fleche Wallonne. The three leaders are Izagiri, Jungels, and of course Tim Valens, one of the pre-race favourites of this Fleche Wallonne. Jungels now combining, Izagiri not doing any work again now. Jungels constantly checking. Valens looks around as well. What is the advantage as they go along the side of the river? The peloton looking really strong, led by Ethics Quickstep, who are obviously riding here for Alaphilippe and for Dan Martin. They now catch them, so the peloton is all together. 2 kilometres of racing remaining. Who is going to win the Fleche Wallonne? As we see now, the riders of Movistar go to the front and they look to set things up. Carlos Alberto Betancourt as we head towards the final roundabout to turn right-hander back into We. A big peloton of riders still in with a chance. Jungels has got the parachute on and going all the way back through the group. Now Team Lotto NL Jumbo take control of the front of the race in the yellow and black with of course in here they've got Wilco Kelderman as a possible winner of the Fleche Wallonne. On the wheel then of Movistar is Ethics Quickstep. Have got 2 riders near the front. Orica Green Edge also got riders up here too. It's Team Lotto NL Jumbo who have the control of Fleche Wallonne with 1.5 kilometres remaining. Now we've got this strength-sapping, sickening climb to the top of this climb here to decide who will be the winner of this 80th edition of the race. Team Sky have got Wout Poels also near the front, sitting on the wheels and just bouncing off a few riders. Joaquim Porito Rodriguez arrives. 1 kilometre now remain. On the front of the race, Movistar have done a great job today. They are keeping this race all together for Alejandro Valverde. Can he take his 3rd win in a row as they hit the lower slopes now of the Mur de Huy? And on the front are Orica Green Edge setting the tempo, moving up on the left hand side. The arrival of Rui Costa, he's now near the front. On the far side is Tom Jelte Slagter. Alejandro Valverde looking very, very good indeed. He's just maintaining his position. Another Team Sky rider moves up on the right hand side of the group, and it's not far to go now to decide who's going to be on the top step of the podium. Enrico Gasparotto is also there for the Wanty team. Can he take the Amstel Gold and the Fleche Wallonne on the bounce? Gasparotto on the right hand side. Valverde looks very, very good. Albacini is there. Rui Costa, Dan Martin, Wout Poels, Alaphilippe. Over on the right hand side is Sergio Pauls of Dimension Data as well as they make their way round the next corner. They're going to get to the steep section. We are reaching the conclusion now. Valverde looks so good, wearing number 1. Albacini is right alongside him. Dan Martin is there. Rodriguez moves moves up. Purito onto the wheel of Valverde. You kind of sense that Valverde's just waiting till he decides to pounce. Wout Poels is still there. Kieselowski behind them. Wilco Kelderman round the steep corner, and Valverde now emerging at the front, taking the initiative. On the wheels then, Gasparotto still has the advantage of the Wanty win at the weekend for the Amstel Gold. Tom Jelter-Slagter is there. Now the acceleration starts to happen, and Purito has decided to go for it. Has he gone too early? Alaphilippe and Dan Martin right on the wheel of Alejandro Valverde. Valverde has already won this race on 3 occasions. He looks so easy, and Purito now is starting to sprint hard. Dan Martin's going to make the acceleration. Martin now goes. Valverde is on the wheel of Dan Martin. Wout Poels, Gasparotto, Albacini. Dan Martin now trying to get rid of Valverde, but Valverde almost looks like he's in cruise mode. Martin then on the front for Etixx Quick-Step. Behind them is Valverde and Alaphilippe. Martin crashed on this climb last year. This year he's still there, and he's going with a chance. Valverde makes his move. Dan Martin isn't able to go and respond. Alaphilippe is going to go with Valverde. Valverde, 4 hours, 43 minutes, 50 seconds. He's made that climb look so simple. Has Alaphilippe got anything left? The answer is no. Alejandro Valverde wins Fleche Wallonne, and it is 3 wins in a row for Alejandro Valverde. He again beats Alaphilippe into second place. What a sprint and what a climb by Valverde. He just controlled every single metre of the Mur de Huy, and he takes his 4th win in the Fleche Wallonne, and he takes the 80th edition. Crossing the line then, Serge Pauwels of Dimension Data. The rest of the riders will make their way to the top, but Valverde has got everything right to win this one. You could just see the way he just controlled everything. Sammy Sanchez comes up to congratulate him. Sanchez was second in this race previously. Eric Zabel congratulates Valverde. Movistar did absolutely everything right. Look at the acceleration. It was Valverde, followed by Alaphilippe, I think followed by Dan Martin. And behind them, just looking, it was the lead out by Dan Martin of Ireland. Alaphilippe, these 3 riders going clear, but Valverde, when he went, Alaphilippe tried to go with him, but Valverde just had so much power. You can see every sinew of those legs and arms as he sits up to take the win. As is normal, the women are presented on the podium first of all here at Fleche Wallonne. Great to combine the 2 races. Megan Garnier, the American champion, who finished 3rd at the top of the climb. Two Boels-Dolmans riders in the top 3. Evelyn Stevens, the world hour record holder, onto the podium in 3rd place. Second place, sorry. Second place for Evelyn Stevens. Stevens, of course, a previous winner of the Fleche Wallonne. She broke the world hour record just a couple of months ago, as we wait for the winner of today's women's race. Backing up her win in Fleche Wallonne, Anna van der Breggen defends. A great day for the Rabobank Live squad. A fantastic victory by Anna van der Breggen on the Muur de Huy. Anna van der Breggen, a fantastic competitor. I don't think she expected to defend that title today. There's our podium in the women's race. Megan Garnier, Evelyn Stevens, Anna van der Breggen.
Christophe Lacroix, ministre régional du budget, et de Christophe Mignon, bourgmestre de Huy, qui ont salué. Nous allons retrouver dans un instant. Voilà, on salue donc Evelyn Stevens, Anna van der Breggen.
Here's the current standings in the UCI World Tour for men. Peter Sagan still leads, Contador in second, Richie Porte in third place for the BMC team, and there's the top 10, Dan Martin in 10th place. And Kasia Niwadoma arrives on the podium. Kasia Niwadoma, the Polish rider of the Rabobank Live team, on the podium. As the best young rider in the World Tour. And the arrival now of the men's podium. And before we have the presentation, let's take a selfie. The replay then, as Dan Martin tried to take the initiative on Valverde on the climb, but Valverde was so strong. A good day though for Ethics Quick Step, taking second, third in the race. Dan Martin moved to Ethics Quick Step for this season. Here is Julien Alaphilippe. He, of course, last year had mononucleosis and had to recover from that. Julien Alaphilippe then second place on the day. Alejandro Valverde wins the Fleche Wallonne. The 80th edition goes to another Spaniard. 5 wins in a row for the Spanish riders. Alejandro Valverde, a great day for the Movistar team. Huge crowd here enjoying the atmosphere at the end of Fleche Wallonne. There's our podium, Martin, Alaphilippe, Valverde, at the end of a great day of racing.